Aiming. When it comes to aiming, you want to differentiate between the two main categories. The first one is tracking. Basically, you want to always keep your crosshair on the enemy, perfectly track where they're going and hit every single bullet, basically, analyze their movement and keep track of them. With flicking, instead, you want to pay attention to your enemy and then flick to him and then shoot, and then flick to him and shoot. Basically, this is used with any weapon that's not an auto weapon, such as the shotguns, the wingman, the snipers, even things such as, burst weapons, because you're not really full auto, whereas you want to track a little bit more than, I did, because you're shooting much faster. You don't have as much downtime. Now, with the wingman, you want to do something like this. The reason you want to do this is every time you shoot, you have a downtime between you can shoot again, between your next shot, basically. And you can use this downtime to analyze the enemy movement and adjust your crosshair properly. Now, you can obviously track these enemies and easily, hit every bullet. But that's because, one, their movement is very predictable. They're only going left and right at the same speed. And two, those models are very, very big. Now, a real player, he's gonna do something like this called AD strafing. He's gonna try to, crouch, he's gonna jump, maybe, stuff like that. And you wanna, keep track of those different mobilities where their movement is predictable, such as sliding. So if they're sliding, they don't really have that much option to change their mobility apart, their direction apart from jumping. And then jumping is also kind of predictable because obviously, if someone jumps, you're gonna know the path that they're gonna fall down, right? So you can easily adjust your aim for that and then easily either track them. So for example, if a guy would jump over here, you could track them like this, it's gonna be like an arc. Or if you use the flicking, you want to aim at the extremities where either he's at the very top or the very bottom right as he lands. So if you see him jumping here, you can do one of these, shoot him while midair, or you can, wait till he lands, because when he lands, he's gonna, lose some movement speed, and then, you can shoot him there when he lands. And you want to use this in general, like every time, and try to, get used to this. This is your bread and butter. If you, don't hit shots, it's gonna be really hard to get consistent, and you always want to make sure you really analyze the enemy movement. Don't just, spam and hope for the best. Get comfortable with your sensitivity, get comfortable looking at the enemies before you aim and stuff like that. And another thing that can help a lot, especially in close quarter combat, not with snipers or anything. So mostly it's gonna be with like SMGs, the R99, the alternator, even the carbine, even though it's like a little bit longer range, than the prowler, the Spitfire, the closer range weapons. So basically you don't always want to just aim with your mouse, because the reason is, first of all, if you only aim with your mouse, your movement is really like limited. You can't really sprint, you can't slide, you can't crouch, and your movement speed in general is slower. So you want to always, find a balance between you hitting your shots and the enemy missing their shots. So basically what you want to try to do is use your movement and then, use the hip fire, and don't aim as much with your mouse. So what that means is, if you see an enemy, like on this range kind of, and he's doing the AD strafe, what you can do is mimic him. If he's going left, you want to go left. If he's going right, you want to go right. So that way you basically aim without even aiming. You can use your movement. If he jumps, you can jump and then try to follow him that way. It's it's kind of advanced. You don't need to do that as much. However, try to keep it in mind. Use your own movement to mimic the enemy movement and aim that way. Don't just trust your own aim all the time. Throw different stuff in there, and yeah, you're gonna definitely improve. Just make sure you keep in mind one thing at a time. Try to improve your tracking one day, and then the next day, you know, improve your flicking. And make sure you always remember, you know, what kind of weapon you have, the way you want to aim, and adjust accordingly.